What up, Raymond? How we doing? All right, I upgraded my internet since the last stream, so hopefully everything's working today. Last time we had to shut down, let's be honest, most of our streams in order to get it to work, so we should be good to go now. Hopefully. Hopefully. Let's take a quick peek. Seems like we're doing pretty solid. Definitely bouncing around a little bit, but I think we'll be okay. It's boring. What's up, Trail Tech? How we doing, dude? What is up? Yeah, we got an interesting build today. The customer for this one said they don't really play a lot of games, but they wanted to be able to play games on here and wanted a really good CPU. So it's kind of an interesting build. We've got a 5060, but we've got a 9800X 3D. Yeah, should be solid. Mardio Yasuo Huijiang. I'm sure I butchered that. Amiel Tim, thank you so much for joining in. Niche Bebe, what's up? Welcome in, welcome in. I'm gonna open up my little drink here. It's just some Diet Dr. Pepper. Dr. Pepper zero sugar. And it feels super frozen. Hopefully there's no ice in it. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that hits the spot. Yo, Arcadia, what's up, dude? Haven't seen you in a minute. Welcome back. Welcome in, everybody. I think everything's up and running. I think we're good to go. How's everybody's Friday doing? Friday. Happy Friday. You guys made it. You survived the week. The week is essentially over. So just give yourself a little round of applause. All right? Give yourself a little round of applause. Not a bad combo if you're a light gamer but need to do production work. Yeah, I think that's kind of, I would need to look back at our messages, but I think that was kind of the idea. Like, he's got some other stuff that he does that's like more on the CPU side, but wants to do like a little bit of gaming. He said he doesn't do a ton of gaming on PC, so yeah. It's been a while. Friday's good. How are you? How's the new office coming along? It's not bad. I mean, there's definitely some organization. I've got a couple of boxes just kind of sitting on the floor with stuff in them that I need to figure out what I'm gonna do with all the stuff in them. And then I've got a bunch of stuff in the garage that I need to organize. But as far as like the setup, it's all in. Everything's plugged in. Everything's working at the moment. We upgraded our internet. I had to upgrade. I was on like a 300 megabyte down plan. The house only has access to cable internet, and I was not getting a lot of upload. Like, I think I was averaging like 16 to 18 upload, which is not enough to run all my streams. So I immediately after stream last time upgraded to a 1 gig plan, which surprisingly wasn't that expensive for cable internet. It was like $60 or $65 a month, and I'm averaging around 50 up now. So I think I should be pretty solid. But yeah, everything's all set up in the office. We're up and running. It's tiny. It gets really warm in here. But besides that, I'm pretty happy with it. I don't have to pay rent anymore. I have to pay my mortgage, but that's, it's not really the business's, not really a business expense. That's just a normal expense. I don't have to pay for double internet because I was paying for internet at the house and at the office before. So yeah, and I'm home all the time, like literally all the time. I don't have to leave the house. But yeah, so it's pretty nice. It's taken a lot of time. It took me a lot of time to like just bringing all the stuff over, getting it all set back up, trying to reasonably manage the like 100 cables it takes to run both my PCs and all of the cameras and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, I think we're pretty close to being being done. It's just a little bit of organization. I think I'm gonna get a little like under desk like storage file cabinet thing, so I can have a little bit of storage under there, because there's a section of this desk that like I just don't utilize at all, like all the way to the left. I don't scooch all the way over there in my chair or anything, so it's not blocking anything, and I think it could be pretty useful to have some space in there. WB850, yeah, dude, it's great. Definitely nothing wrong with that. Saving a bunch of money on rent has to be pretty good though. Yeah, my rent was going up to $800 a month before utilities, so it was going to be in the realm of like $820 a month at my office space come January. So definitely gonna be saving a lot of money from what I was paying before. So I'm definitely happy about that. Speaking of internet, I got my Starlink Mini yesterday. A mini? I didn't know they made a mini version of it. 300 down, 40 up at times. That's not bad at all, dude. That's not bad at all. Aaron, thank you so much for joining. Somebody else joined. I don't even know what language that is, but thank you for joining the TikTok stream. Sounds great. I think I get around 20 upload. I tried multi-stream a while back and could only manage 2 platforms before issues started up. Yeah, that's what I ended up going down to, like I think 2 platforms last time, because I just I couldn't handle more. So yeah, I'm happy to have the 1 gig, and it actually improved my latency in game. I don't know. They said, so like the parent company of Sparklight, which is where my internet is from, is Cable One, and they apparently have like they like rerouted how I connect into the internet. Like it goes in through some different like switch station and stuff. Wow, I got hit by TikTok already. I haven't said anything wrong, TikTok. You guys suck. Not the people that are watching the TikTok stream, but TikTok themselves. I get a warning every single stream. That's stupid. But yeah, somehow they like reroute how I get my internet when I jump to the 1 gig plan, and my latency in game went down by like 20. Went down by like 20 milliseconds. It's pretty cool. Yeah, what up, Brian? All right, let's talk about. Should we talk about the build? Should we get started? Let's do it. All right, like I said, interesting build. It's definitely gonna be solid for 1080p gaming. And it'll be really good for all of the other work that they're going to be doing on it. But we've got a Ryzen 7 9800X 3D. We've got 1 terabyte SSD. It's a Kingston NV3, 32 gigs of RAM. This is worth its weight in, well, silver, not gold yet. 32 gigs of RAM. Got some Asia Horse white cable extensions, white B850 motherboard, white 5060. We've got our Montech 850 watt power supply. And then we've got a white Thermalright 360 millimeter AIO. All of that is going inside the Lee & Lee LandCool 207, which is what we built in very recently. So that'll look very familiar to you guys. Let's get started. Let's kick this build off, huh? I would love to know what I said that made TikTok upset. Do I not go live on X? I've done it a few times, but I never really got any sort of push or anything over there, and I just don't know that it's worth it. I probably should, to be honest. But I was getting like 17 views on my lives on X, so I don't know that it's worth the effort to set up. It's kind of a pain to set up, to be honest. It's not as straightforward as everywhere else. What up, Walking Phoenix? How you doing? White Wi-Fi adapter. I would love to know why TikTok is just hounding me every time I go live over there. Like, I'm sorry, I can't mention my internet provider. Like, come on. Think I'm trying to sell people internet? It's ridiculous, man. TikTok's auto mod feature is absolutely worthless. Absolutely worthless. What are you stuck on back there? What up, Claude? How you doing? Welcome in. All right. Take that plasticky peel off. Boom. Look at that. Got it to follow some other tech people a couple months ago, getting rid of it. I mean, I get good views over there at times, so like on my videos. So, you know, it's worth it for me to post there. It's just the live streams. They flag like every live stream I do over there for some reason. This exact motherboard blew twice for you? That's crazy. I think I built another build with basically this exact same motherboard recently. Is this build possible for 1440p gaming? If you upgraded from a 5060 to a 5060 Ti 16 gig, it'd be perfect for 1440p gaming. Every third post feels like an ad. I know, right? It definitely feels that way on TikTok right now. I don't know if there's really anything they can do about it because they incentivize that, you know? Like that's how you really make money on TikTok. Unless you're getting crazy views on longer videos, it just makes sense to make ads there. It's crazy. Do I have old stuff I can send out? I mean, the only old stuff I have right now is like a used GTX 1650, and I use that for like test bench stuff. I have some old DDR4 RAM sitting around that I could sell, but that's really about it. I don't keep a lot of old stuff on hand. I just don't have space for more. Dude, oh yeah, 7800X3D is great. Definitely would not have any problems with that. All right, we got our 9800X 3D in here. Or sorry, 9700X. Wait, did I put the wrong CPU in here? Did I swap? Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Oh no, it is supposed to be a 9700X. I put it wrong in my thing. It's supposed to be a 9700X. That makes way more sense. You guys, I'm so sorry. It's a 9700X, not a 9800X 3D. And that's what it's supposed to be. That's what the customer paid for. Sorry, my dog wants out. He doesn't want to be in my room anymore. I know, it's too hot in here for you, puppy. It's too hot in here for you. Come on. Come on. Where are you going? This is the most convoluted way for you to get out of the room. Go. Get out of here and go lay on the cool tile. He just walked all the way around the entire room to go out. The goofball. Would you like many viewers? No, go away. Can I ban you? Oh, okay. Hold on. Enjoy being banned. Goodbye. There we go. Gone. Yeah, it's a much better balance, 9700X. I don't know why they made the boxes look too similar, and apparently I put the wrong thing in there. So it's a 9700X, not a 9800X 3D, you guys. Makes way more sense because this is like $150 cheaper than the 9800X 3D. What are you wanting to buy? The old RAM? Yeah, much better balance. I could sell some of my old RAM. I can't sell all of it. I need some of it just in case, but... Dude, RAM prices are getting crazier. I bought like 6 kits a month ago or something, when 6 or 7 kits like a month ago when they were like really starting to increase. So I bought those at like 230 bucks. I was like, man, this is just so much money. Am I gonna get stuck with RAM that I'm never gonna be able to sell, or I'm gonna sell at a loss? Nope. Because they're $300 now, 300 plus. And I did the same thing. I found some kits like back when it was like when the 32 gig kits were first starting to really go up. I'll see them at like $140 average, $150 average. I was like, ooh, that kind of sucks. I wonder if I can find some for cheap. And I found some V-color kits for 100 bucks, or maybe it was like 95 bucks. I was like, I'm snagging these right now. I'm glad I did, because I was selling those all the way up until RAM prices hit $200, and now I have some of these ones that I got for $230, and RAM prices are now at $300+. So I'm glad I did that, because pricing is insane right now. And it's not going to get better, in case you guys are wondering. It's not going to get better anytime soon. It's going to get worse, unfortunately. DDR4 has gone up. It's not quite as crazy. You can get like 32 gigs of DDR4 for like 170 right now to $200, depending on what timings and speed you get. So, you know, it's still more than double what it was before the shortage, but, you know, it's better than that. Yo, Trail Tech with a gifted sub. Thank you so much, dude. Yeah, I mean, there's no possibility of building a super budget build right now unless you already had RAM, or you can like find some used from a buddy or something. I mean, I did get it for $100. That was in October or something. The stuff that I have for $230 I bought like a month ago, or maybe even less than that. But yeah, so I'm using up what I have that I got for $230, and then once that's gone, I mean, I'm probably gonna keep buying kits right now, and I'll just have to track how much I'm spending on them, so that I know what to charge for them. But yeah, it's nuts, man. It's nuts. But we got some CL32 6000s, or sorry, CL30 6000s here, 2x16. So this is a 32 gig kit. Yes, it is, because they are building so many data centers that everyone that makes RAM is like, we want to sell to them because they're going to make us more money. So that's what's happening. They're making less and less consumer grade memory chips and making server memory chips instead. Got that same Viper RAM the other day on eBay. Hey, let's go. Yeah, it's solid stuff. There's a few, like some really, really cheap motherboards don't seem to really like it, but it's a very good kit. So as long as your motherboard doesn't hate you and not work with it, it's good stuff. There are a few very cheap motherboards, like some of the really cheap ASRock motherboards just don't seem to like it for whatever reason. I'll take my more months that I could down on prices. Yeah, Micron's out. They're done selling. They're done selling consumer RAM here soon. It's not going to go down like even next year from everything they're saying. So, like it could be late 2027 before we start seeing RAM prices and availability going back to normal. Yeah, late 2027 is some of the figures I've seen. Just crazy. Yeah, Micron bowing out is a big blow. They were about 25% of the market. Yup, it's pretty sucky. All right. Could kill your business drastically. What do you do for your business, Claude? You can get a good current gen 1440p GPU for the same price as 32 gigs right now. Yeah, right? Isn't that nuts? I mean, I think the pricing wise, it's still not much worse than like the GPU shortage has been. Like we were seeing GPUs sell for, you know, 50 to 6% more at a minimum than their MSRP during like, I think especially 30 series, but it happened during each launch for a while. granted, like the percentages are worse for the RAM, but the overall cost of a build is pretty similar. So as of right now, we're kind of in the same sort of spot, if not slightly better than we were during like the crazy GPU shortages. It just feels worse because RAM percentage-wise has gone up so much more. You now identify as a data center. Oh, you build PCs too? Yeah. Gotcha. Yeah. I mean, it's gonna be rough. I mean, I'm really glad that like this is not my day job. Granted, I'm getting laid off at the end of the year from my day job, so I am gonna have to find a new job. But like, this isn't what pays the bills, thankfully. I still have a full-time job. Ish. But yeah, it's gonna be really rough for like those like smaller build houses that are, you know, have a few employees to like, you know, up to like 20 employees, where prices are gonna go insane. People are gonna be buying less. Like they even saw motherboard sales last month were down 50% what they were last year. 50%. November 2025 versus November 2024. Like if that's not a good indicator of how much less people are willing to buy a PC right now, then I don't know what is. So it's gonna be rough. It's gonna be rough for some people. Yo, Claude, did you just drop something over here on me? I can't see it. Doesn't tell me on Meld. Claude dropping to 729. I don't know what that's worth in USD, and I don't care. Thank you so much, dude. Appreciate you. I heard Gigolo work pays cut. Yeah, that's not really gonna happen. It's not really in the cards for me. Jeez. Stream Deck is like asleep at the wheel over there. Got it. Have to cut a zip tie to get this box of accessories out. Okay. Now I can do these. How much do you think a build with a 9600X, 9070 XT will cost right now? 32 gigs of RAM. Let's see, that's 200 plus, call it 600, so that's 800, plus another 300 for RAM, it's 1100, plus a decent motherboard, maybe 200 bucks, so 1300. SSD is around 80, so 1380. Another 50 for a, you could go air cooler, so another like 25, 30 for an air cooler, so 13, maybe 1400 bucks. Power supply is going to be roughly another 100, so 1500 bucks, and a decent case, call it another 100 bucks. $1,600 for something like that for just part cost. 1,600. I always do as long as I can. Yeah, for sure. No, I'm in the US, JP. Yep. We just do what we can. We help out our customers as best we can. You know, I try and save them money as much as possible, and you know, be real with them. They're like, hey, I understand this, it sucks that this is what the prices are, but like, this is what the prices are, you know? I have been like, lately I've been explaining to people, it's like, just so you know, SSD and RAM prices look like this, and that's why this build that used to be $1,000 or $1,200 is now $1,500, $1,600. sucks, but do what you gotta do. Is that a Lee & Lee case with the two 170 mans up front? Are they 170s? They might be 170s. They're definitely big. It doesn't say what they are on them. I think they're 170s, yes. There's another one. There's the 217 and the 206, or maybe like the 216, that has like even bigger fans. They're like 180s. Yeah, I think these are the 170s. Lucky I built my own recent rig in October, just barely dodged. Yeah, you really did. You definitely dodged it. Clients getting crazy and mocking me for my prices. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's why I usually tell them up front, like when I give them a quote, because I do a lot, most of my builds are custom, right? It's not just like bought right off the website. Yeah, I tell them up front, I'm like, hey, you know, here's what I put in this quote based on your budget. Here's why it feels so expensive, just so you know, and then, you know, move on from there. Like, I want people to be aware of why prices are what they are. Was thinking of 9600X, but not sure what GPU and motherboard that matches that. So if you want a AMD GPU, ASRock makes a Steel Legend, like white version of their GPUs. So you could go with one of those. Don't think XFX makes anything white. Don't know if Gigabyte makes. Does Gigabyte make AMD GPUs? I don't feel like they do. It's not a lot. Sapphire might have a white one. I haven't seen it personally. If you're looking at Nvidia cards, Gigabyte, Asus, they all make white ones. ASRock, I don't think makes AMD or Nvidia GPUs. Recently bought a Steel Legend 9060 XT and 9070 XT. Yeah, they look great. They're great looking cards. And they're not like that much more expensive than the black versions either, which is nice. Okay. Motherboard's in. I think I went back through and tightened these all down. Yeah. All right. Switch up the cameras here. Yeah, you could always do blackout too. Like, they make this case in black too. All right, let's get Susan in here. Up here. Ooh, I feel like I need to open my window, man. It's getting toasty. Got the 9070 for $619. That's not bad at all. Where would you recommend selling a high-ish end PC? Either like Facebook Marketplace or Jawa, like the Jawas from Star Wars, Jawa.gg. I had to ask this about building a PC for Blender 2D to 3D setup use. I mean, like, is this PC good? Would this PC be good for Blender? Is that what you're asking? All right, let's get our cables hooked up. Never want to leave these metal ties in here because they can cut through your cables and short out stuff. Just use cable ties or zip ties. Okay, got those in there. Yes, LTT screwdriver. I've been using that for a couple years. I love it. The plan is to have the cheapest RTX 40 series, then Core Ultra series i5. If you're doing anything 3D, I think you want a stronger GPU than that. I've never used Blender, but I'm pretty sure it's somewhat intensive as far as the GPU needs. So I would say you probably need like a 60 series or something, at least like a 4060 or 4070. Okay, USB 3, USB-C, usually right underneath it. Yep. Thick side on the bottom. That's what it looks like. Yep. Okay, bring those together. And we've got our front fans to get plugged in. Run those over here to the bottom. We have another fan header like right here we can plug into. And where's our RGBs? Right next to it. We've got RGBs on top too. Help if I put that in the right spot. There we go. Okay. We've got an RGB header down here. Okay, got that in there. All right, then we just need our front panel connector, which is gonna go right here. Okay, that is all in there. Let's bring those cables through there. Still getting used to the shoulder cam being on my left. Oh, why did that come out of there? Hold on, I want to run that back through there. Didn't realize I pulled that out of this thing, or maybe it just wasn't ever in there. There we go. Okay, all right, got that in there. Cool. All right, let's fix up these couple of cables down here. Okay. Blender needs at least a 4070 and above. Yeah, see, that's what I was thinking. I know it's definitely GPU intensive. Okay, one more down here. Hey guys, how need good stuff? What? Is that even English? Okay, Just got that there. There. All right. Got all that stuff tied down here in this right corner. Ooh, it's toasty in here. Yes, it is a Lian Li case. What up, Warfliper? Yeah, I got two big old front fans. What up, E88? How we doing? I have a 3060 Ti with a 12700F. Do you think I should upgrade anytime soon or wait for RAM prices? I think things that you could upgrade with that setup, you could go from a 12700 to like a 14600K or 14700K, and then you could upgrade your GPU and like not touch anything else, and you'd be in like really solid shape. You'll definitely get some more FPS out of that. I'm selling my PC now, 12900KF, 32 gigs, 4070 Ti, a terabyte of storage, 750 watt, with an ID cooling thing. How much would it go for? With the 12900K, I mean, maybe like 1,500 bucks. It's got an older CPU, so it's not worth a ton. Like, people aren't gonna view it as like a newer PC with that CPU, unfortunately. All right, let's get some cable extensions started. If you had a newer CPU with the DDR5, I think you could sell it for more. But I think with that CPU in there, people are gonna view it as pretty old. Which, I mean, that CPU is getting pretty old at this point. Oh, I'm gonna do my best. I'm gonna do my best on the cable management. Don't you worry. We're just kind of getting started on it, you know? All right, so this guy is gonna be like that. So I want the combs on that side. Put like 3 combs on it. Doing cable extensions here. Okay, there's one. Okay. Number 2. Those motherboard cable extensions, where you get them, because I'm trying to get some yellow ones. These are Asia Horse ones, just from Amazon. They have a lot of colors. I don't know if they have yellow. If they don't, Cable Mod has like, you can order custom kits in whatever color you want. Definitely more expensive, but you know, if you can't find these ones just off the shelf, you can try for that. What up, Husk? Why do you still use cable extensions? Because these guys wanted a very budget-friendly build in white, and it would have cost a lot more to do a white power supply. These cable extensions look really good. Nothing wrong with cable extensions, man. They typically look nicer than the built-in cables anyways. Plan on going with an AM5 CPU with an AM5 motherboard, but realized there are no motherboards that support AM5 DDR4. No, yeah, you're correct. They do not. AM5 is DDR5 only. Like, you're trying to tell me that doesn't look insanely good? Like, look how clean that looks. Why wouldn't we use cable extensions if that's what we want it to look like? You know? Okay. So there's that. CPU. CPU is gonna go up. So we'll do probably just like one. PC case is awesome. What about the built-in fans? How quiet are they? They're pretty quiet, man. They're very good quality fans. Like, you could probably like really ramp them up to get it to be kind of loud, but just stock with like stock tuning, they're pretty quiet. Okay, so let's roll that up here. Just gonna be like that. This is gonna run across over here like that. And the main cable will go down. And then our GPU is just gonna be a single, I'm not gonna put the combs on it yet because I don't know which orientation the GPU power cable or power port is. Dark flash PSUs cost the same for black and white. I know, but this Montech power supply was like $83, and it's pretty solid. I looked it up in the PSU tier list, and it's like a B+. So unless you're going super high end, like this is definitely a good option. Marvel, if you want, you can just order fans separate. Yeah, you could always order separate fans if you wanted. Although 170s is not a common size that you'll find. I have seen the new 217 Infinity case. I really want to build in that. I'm tempted to build one for Loot Fest this year in that case, just so I can show it off. All right, let's get the power supply side on and in. Leave that there for now. I see your Wi-Fi is working right now, no lagging. I upgraded it. I was paying for 300 down, and I'm not on Wi-Fi. I'm all wired in, but I was paying for 300 down, and you know whatever comes with it up, and now I'm paying for gig internet instead. Okay, so that's all I need. I don't need the rest of this. Yeah, it's a really good deal, which is why I bought a few of them at once because of that price. Do you hoard all the spare PSU cables like Starforge does? No, I send them with the customer's build. Amazon doesn't, Cable Mod does. That PC case is awesome, but what about the built-in fan? Oh, I read that. The Montech XR is a great case. It's a really nice case. I'm doing pretty good, Husk. Doing pretty good. I've got a call on Monday about a potential new job, which will be sick. You know, I'm healthy. You know, not much to complain about. Not much to complain about right now. You know, besides getting laid off at the end of the year. I can complain about that a little bit. You can use the cables that come with the PSU itself, like the ones from Seasonic or other brands, if the PSU cables are white. No, you cannot. You cannot mix and match different power cables from different brands. There's a couple of brands that use the exact same pinouts, but not, like a lot of them do not use the same pinouts. And so if you were to try and use, say, Seasonic cables in a Corsair power supply, one, they might not even fit, and two, you could burn out whatever component you're connected to because they don't use the same pinouts on the power supply side. So don't do that. Trail Tech with another gifted sub. Bro, thank you so much. Is Sama PSU good too? I've never used them. I would look up the PSU tier list and look up the specific one that you're looking at, and that's usually the best way to figure out if it's any good. Like if you literally just like search PSU tier list, you can find the Excel doc that's been put together with painstakingly good testing to know what's good and what isn't. That's what I would suggest. Performance and also saves money. However, it is not safe to mix or use cables from other power supplies, even if they look original or similar. Never guaranteed to be safe. Okay, yeah, that's what I would say. But I mean, on this, like, you're not going to have any problems with cable extensions. Cable extensions, I would only be concerned about if you have a really high power system. So like if you had like a 5080 or 5090 or something that's pulling a ton of power, that's where I would be concerned with cable extensions. But anything less than that, and like your cables, like a single 8-pin CPU power cable is rated for like almost, I think it's rated for like almost 300 watts. Somewhere in that realm. So like, yeah, you can use a cable extension and not have any problems because you're not anywhere near what those cables are actually rated for. What up, Richard? Those are extension, not compromised on these Pro 88s, yeah. The 217 Infinity looks like a subwoofer. It does. It really does. King 65 Pro Montec, that's a good one. King 95 Pro if you want a giant case. I hope I get the job too, Husk. Thank you. Bro, Claude, I barely pay myself here, man. I work full time and do this. This is more about the passion and love of doing it than it is about making a ton of money, because I don't make a ton of money on doing this. The CPU in this is a 9700X. It's almost 280 watts to make you clear. What's almost 280 watts? I do have a job lead. So the chief technology officer of the company I'm being laid off from called me Wednesday and was like, hey, I talked to my buddy who used to work with me at Google, and he works for this satellite company. And when I was telling him about the different people that were getting laid off, like the description of like what I do and know and stuff like stood out to him, and he is very interested in having, potentially giving me a job. So that's what I know. I don't know a ton about like what position, what the position looks like that they want. But yeah, that's that's about the extent of it. So I have a call with that guy early next week to see if maybe maybe I'll be a good fit. And it would be remote, which would be awesome. I heard some people talk about coil wine specifically from Corsair's power supplies. I haven't experienced that. Like, I have a Corsair power supply. I've used them a few times. I think it's kind of just luck of the draw if you get coil wine. Because I've heard the same thing about people saying that with Asus GPUs, but I haven't experienced it either. We're in the same boat, yeah. Sorry, Claude. I wish I could hire people. I would love to be at the point where I could do that, but I can't. Soul Reaper, what's up, dude? 9700X, not 9800X 3D. Yes, I wrote that wrong. That's my bad. That's my bad. We talked about that at the beginning of the stream. I messed up. Okay. You can fire me later, Richard. I'm sorry. You can fire me later, Richard. A little fragile right now. You can't fire me right now. Testimony coming in with a follow. Thank you so much. Oh, a little bonus for me? What are we talking about here? What are we talking about here? Yo, Doppelganger coming in with the 250 joules. Thank you so much. A little bonus for me. Let me check this out. Yo, with the 249. Bro, thank you so much, Husk. Dude, you're a legend. An absolute legend. I hope you get over it. Me too. If you want nice cables, I would just buy a Lian Li Edge. Yes. I mean, this is an $83 power supply. So you're talking almost double the price for the Lian Li Edge. But yes, the Lian Li Edge is a very, very good option if you want nice looking cables from the manufacturer without any like cable extensions or anything. I 100% agree. Okay, so there's that. Motherboard power cable is going to be a little less fun because it's all the way down here. Okay, and we're going to have to do the same sort of thing here. I have to actually loosen this. Wow. I'm going to have to actually loosen this guy. Maybe not that one, though. Yeah. Probably just turn those all sideways, huh? There's that. And the GPU power cable is going to sneak over here. It's just going to go over there to the front. Well, I guess to the other side, not the front. Where's my Schwarzenegger gif? Is it gone now? Thanks, bro. You too. I can share your stream in the Kick community. No, thank you. Now I want to take back my thanks for the follow. So you're just over here trying to sell me witchcraft. Richard, can you ban that guy on Kick? And don't worry, I already got my hate mail from TikTok, so it doesn't matter if I mention other platforms. Do I do custom liquid cooling? Yes, not very often, but I can. $5060, there's no 16 gig for the 5060. That's a 5060 Ti. Do your best PC will bless you with more clients. Exactly. That's what I do. That's all I do. There's a deal on Amazon for an ASRock Steel Legend 9070 XT and an 850 watt for $755. That's not bad. That's not bad. Because that power supply is normally like 90 bucks. So that would put you at 660. I don't know if that's really like a big discount though. It's a good deal if you need both of those, but I don't know that that's a huge discount because I don't think that GPU costs much more than that. Maybe it's close to $700. I would have to look again. I think it's a slight discount, but I don't think it's much at all. I gotta go again, sadly, but see you next time. Ooh, midnight. All right, man. You have a good night. Get some sleep. Appreciate you. Appreciate you dropping some monies, some donations on me. I appreciate that, dude. Have a good night. Ooh, Soul Reaper dropping some likes over on TikTok. Thank you. Good luck with the job. Hope you get it. Thank you. Yeah, I'll say I think TrailTech's probably looked at the prices for 9000 series more recently than I have. PC information and more into sharing each other's information. That's what I love about the community that we've built, especially on YouTube. It's like we've got a bunch of techies that just like talking about PCs and stuff, and that we can like all help each other out. I love it. I love it. We've built a pretty cool community over here. Dude, my hands are shaky. I wonder if I need to eat some food. I wonder if I need to eat some food. Don't worry, I'll eat something after this build, you guys. Back to that Amazon deal. There's the same 9070 XT on Newegg for $619. Yeah, so it's not much. If anything, you might be paying more. What kind of RAM do I have on hand? They're all 32 gig kits. Well, I have one 16 gig kit of DDR5 Patriot Viper. I've got a couple of Patriot Viper 32 gig kits for Intel XMP, another one for XMP or Expo, and then I've got a V-Color kit for Expo. Yeah, that's what I've got. Those ones, all the ones that I have on hand right now are the ones that I bought for $230, give or take. And then, yeah, at some point I'm gonna have to buy more. Claude, you dropping more stuff on me over here, bro? You dropping more stuff on me over here, bro? I gotta go look. Claude with another 729, my guy. My guy. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate you guys. Roger. Wait. Before I pick that up, gotta open up my bag of goodies. There we go. Now I can pick it up. You go through there. Newegg and Amazon have both tried pushing that quote-unquote deal when the Steel Legend 9070 XT is at the $619 mark. It's not actually a deal. Yeah, that's crazy. You'd think they would offer better pricing than having it be by itself. That's pretty wild behavior. Pretty wild behavior out of those guys. Problem is when they push those deals, you're gonna find those ahead of finding the individual components, and so it's hard to know unless you've like actively searched for the individual components that you're not getting a good deal, which is lame. Richard, how are you doing right now, man? Upcoming year, Christmas, so stay pleased and happy. I'm happy. We're having a good time. I'm not even really stressed yet about a new job because I have some severance until, you know, Q1, end of Q1 next year. So I have time to like make sure I find a good job that I want. 95% of Newegg sales are exactly the same price as the week prior. Yeah, I saw they're like, they sent out their bulletin for like the sales going on today or whatever, and they had DDR5 in there, and it was like $330. I was like, what do you mean this is a sale from being? It was $360. That's not a sale, man. I don't think you guys know what the term sale means. Oh, we'll get through it. I have little doubt. What up, MJ? Welcome in, dude. The nice part is that gives me some time to work on some more content. They do have good deals at times. You just got to get through all the other BS and pay attention. Yeah, exactly. Which is how I found those like $100 V-Color RAM kits when everything else was like $150. I just happened to do a little Googling around and found them. All right. Let's get our CPU cooler fans hooked up here. Go that one to that one. That one to that one. And this one is gonna go right back over here. And then we're gonna plug them in. Oh, that's the AIO pump. I want that one now. They moved it from where everyone else puts it. Silly Asus. It's fine. I found it. I know how to read. Okay. Let's collab together someday. That'd be fun. Hit me up off of stream, and you know, maybe we can figure something out. All right, let's do this. I'm gonna run this one through the top too, just because it'll be easy, I think. Okay. All right, so that's all plugged in. We can at least tie up this spot. I think we're gonna use a zip tie for this, just to make sure it's nice and tight. Okay. How's the old office feeling? Like you're back home? Kind of. I mean, I am back home, so there's that. But yeah, it feels pretty good. Like we're, you know, we've got our stuff in here, and you know, everything's up and running. It's hot AF in here right now, so there's that. That's a fun fun part of being in like 90 square feet with 1,000 watts of PC power going. And me moving around and sweaty. But yeah, no, it's nice. It's nice not having to leave the house. My wife definitely appreciates that I'm home more and she can, you know, stop in and quote unquote bug me when she needs to, kind of thing. I use that term very lightly, like not actually bugging me. Just if she needs to ask me a question or whatever, she doesn't have to call me. She can just walk upstairs and ask me. Okay, let's do our thermal paste. We'll get this on and then we can route these cables and then we can keep working on cable management back there. Also, actually, chat, I gotta have to pee. I'm gonna leave this here. Y'all don't need to hear that. But I need like 30 seconds. Okay, I need like 30 seconds. I need to pee. I'll leave. Okay, I'm back. And yes, I did wash my gloves, which feels really weird, but I did. Okay, there we go. Much better. Turning towards Europe soon, maybe Finland or Denmark. Oh, interesting. That's cool. All right, let me get a paper towel. I'll do some thermal paste application. Oh gosh, there's a glob coming off. Whoops. That doesn't normally happen. I also knocked the cap off. That's fine though. Don't worry, we can clean that up. That's what happens when you put way too much on your spatula. Here we go. We're just gonna wipe off that little extra bit that ended up on our bracket there. There. Much better. Much better. Whoopsies. Okay. Get this last little bit off my fingers. There we go. See? Perfectly pasted. All right. Let's get our CPU cooler on here. Okay, got that one started. How much does it cost, this PC? It's a great question. It's a great question. I have to look at my phone real quick. This build was $1,820. Built and shipped. Because prices right now are dumb. Okay, there's our AIO pump connected. Run our CPU cooler. Do I do custom water cooling? Yes, I do. I don't recommend it, and I don't do it often because it's a very expensive thing to do, both in parts and labor. But you know, some people just want the absolute best of the best, and in those cases, you know, it makes sense to do custom water cooling, but most of the time it does not make sense to do custom water cooling. Okay, so there's that. Yeah, it is very expensive. I did custom water cooling on my personal gaming PC, and I think I spent probably north of $2,000 on water cooling parts. Like, I went super high end, but yeah. Like, I did a like distribution plate that has like the pump, reservoir, and distribution plate all built in, and it's specific to the case that I have. Yeah, it's pretty nuts. It can get pretty nuts. kind of just depends on how far you want to go with it, you know. All right, that's all nice and managed. Just gonna clip that little extra bit off you now. Okay. All right, that's all in there. At this point, we really just need to install our GPU, and then we can plug the cable in. I prefer AMD, especially for gaming. Being proprietary ramps up the cost. Yeah, so it's it wasn't made by the same company that made the case, but they made the design specifically for the case. So that distribution plate, actually, you remove the front panel of the Lee & Lee 011 Dynamic XL, and you come on, and then you replace it with the distribution plate. So it's like it just fits right in to where the old front plate would go. It's really cool. All right, GPU time. He's so cute. You finish this in one day? I mean, we're finishing it in just over an hour. And then I'll put software and stuff on it after I'm done streaming today. But yes, I can complete the whole build, put Windows and stuff on it, update all the drivers, test it, all of that, same day. Nope, no plastic on this. Maybe on the fans? Feels like there might be plastic on the fans, yeah. Okay, GPU. Let's see if we can slot it in there without, yeah, we can. Okay. So interesting that this, and I've seen this with multiple 5060s, they actually only have a by 8 interface. Usually, even if they only can operate in by 8, they have a by 16 interface, so they fill the entire by 16 slot. But this one only has a by 8 interface, so there's only actual physical connections for 8 lanes on the PCI. It's interesting that they've started doing that with the 50 series. I wonder if they're just doing that for cost. Okay, so we got that in there. Now typically I would run the cable up, GPU cable up from here, so it would look like, you know, something like this. which I don't think looks terrible. I don't think that looks terrible, but I think it would look better if we ran it. If it fit, yeah, it fits. So I think it would be better if we ran it straight back like that. So let's do that. So we're gonna face all of the combs on this side, since that's down. Gotta go mid-shift. Need to follow up with the clients. All right. Thank you so much for hanging out, dude. We'll see you on the next one, hopefully. Pretty much gonna put these all the way down the whole thing, so. I want to get my hands on the 5060 single fan for an ITX build. That would look sick. Yeah, I want to do a tiny, like a super tiny build. There's a company called Minis Forum that makes, you can buy, it comes with like the CPU, motherboard, together in an ITX format, but it's a Ryzen 9 laptop, like mobile CPU soldered to the board with like a built-in heatsink, and you just got to put like a thin fan on top of it for like $400. So CPU motherboard combo for like $400, and it accepts I can't remember if it's SD. I think it might be SODIMM RAM, but like it's super cool looking, and it's ITX format, so all your power cables and stuff are, you know, a standard that you would have on an ITX. And it's tiny, you know, it's tiny and super power efficient. Oh, ASRock has one of those too. I haven't seen that. Finally a good streamer. Oh, thank you. How you doing, Pratyush? Pratyush. I'm sorry, I'm probably butchering the name. If you want to write it out how I need to sound it out, that would be very helpful for me. Wasn't just on the 5070 I bought. Other prices are sadly rising too. Yeah. 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 All the prices are kind of going up. Those look pretty evenly split. No problem, brother. You can announce it any way you want. It's hard because it's an Indian. I thought it was when I read it. I've worked with a lot of folks from India over the years in engineering, and I read it and I was like, that definitely looks Indian to me. But you never know unless you ask. There we go. That looks pretty good. Okay. So there's our GPU cable. Here's the other end of it. This cable is absurdly long for what we need for this build, but it's okay. Okay. Go like that. And actually go on the opposite side of these. Just like that. I'll Throw down a couple of cable ties here to just kind of hold it in place. What's that CPU cooler name mean? Thermal right? Like thermal as in temperature, thermal, and right as in like achieving the right temperature, I guess. No, that's a thermal right, Claude. It looks a lot like the Arctic liquid freezer though, doesn't it? The new one. Doesn't it look just like the Liquid Freezer 3? All right. There's our cable management. Tempted to actually run those guys in front, but I think maybe we just put one more cable tie right there. Oh, model identity. This is the, what is it called? The Aqua Elite V6 from Thermalright. Aqua Elite V6. For me, it is 4:30 p.m. I have blackout curtains and stuff in my office, though. And I have nice dark walls, so keeps it nice and dark. All right, cable management. What do we think? What do we think of that here? I'll go to just the front. How do I feel about that? How do I feel about that? I need to change the focus on this thing, otherwise it'll freak out this whole time at the end. How do we feel about that cable management? Looks clean and nice. Thank you, thank you. Looks clean. Thank you, thank you. All right, Claude. You have a good one, man. I'm waiting for an eBay kid. Waiting on an eBay kid for an ITX board with a couple of bent pins. If I can fix them, then it'll be a steal. If not, it's a learning experience. Exactly. "10 out of 8, my bro, to be honest." Heck yeah. Yeah, that one, I feel like this build is super clean. I think I did a good job on that cable management for sure. For sure. Let's throw some, now that you guys have seen the front, or seen the back, close that baby up. There we go. Close the top up. And there we have it. That's our build for the day. Who's ready to see this baby fire up? I want to see. Throw your favorite emoji in the chat if you want to see this baby get fired up for the first time ever. "10 out of 8. No, dude, I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that. You want to see it get started up? Yeah. Yeah. Trail Tech, love it. All right, so as a reminder, here's what we've got in the build. We've got a Ryzen 7 9700X. We've got 32 gigs of DDR5 RAM, 1 terabyte SSD, RTX 5060. We've got an 850 watt power supply, white cable extensions, the Asus B850 Max Gaming Wi-Fi, Thermalright 360, and the Lee & Lee LAN-cooled 207. First ever power on. I think I need to pull down the brightness a little bit on these bad boys. At least on that one. Turn this one off too. Look how pretty that is. Look at it. Hold on, we're gonna do a little video here. Looks so good. Dude, that's a good looking build, man. That is a good looking build. If RAM wasn't so crazy and expensive and hard to find right now, we'd have some nice white RAM in there too, but unfortunately, rather than charging an extra $100 to get white RAM, we went with that. But I think the customer will understand. White builds are the only ones that look okay with the Rainbow Puke RGB, 100%. 100%. Yep, this is a customer build, Patriot. Yeah, it is what it is, you know? Like, unless they're adamant about it, like, I will always do what makes more sense cost-wise, as long as it's not sacrificing quality, you know? She's a pretty girl. It's a nice looking build, y'all. All right, that's it. That's all we got. I really need to go eat a snack before I start putting software on this thing. So we're gonna call the stream here so that I can get some food. Quality over the price, that's right. Goes quality, price. That's right. Think they should get a different case? What? What's wrong with this case? It looks so good. It looks so nice. Thanks, have a good night, brother. I guess I'll go back to pretending to work. All right, man. Appreciate you hopping in, Trail Tech. Thank you for the gifteds again. We'll see you on the next one. Richard, we'll see you later. All right, y'all. Have a good night. We'll see you on the next one. Okay, bye. Bye, 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 bye. Bye. Oh, there's great airflow in here. Look at this. You got two giant fans up front to blow air in. You've got two fans directly under the GPU to blow air right into the GPU. And then you've got three fans on top. Can't do any better than that. There's lots of, and then look at all this open space. Look at, this is all mesh. That's all breathable. It's all breathable. All breathable up front, all breathable on top. Ain't nothing wrong with that. It's gonna get good airflow. All right, y'all. We'll see you on the next one. Yeah, you could always put one at the rear too.